I spent the last few nights building what I would consider to be my perfect app, and with tools like Claude Code, there's never been a better time for you to build your own personal apps. So in this video, I want to talk about exactly what I've built and why I think you should do the same thing as well. Now, I've been going to the gym for many years now, and in that time, I've only ever recorded my workouts down on either pen or paper or just using Apple Notes. I've tried to use many apps, but I hate having to interact with drop-down fields and sort of clunky UI that I really just can't get used to. So it's just been easier to use my own shorthand system to record my workouts. Now, the only issue with that is it's impossible to track your progress over time on things like charts unless you have to go back home afterwards and then reinsert all of that information into something like a spreadsheet. So I've always wanted an app that could take my custom shorthand format and then be able to represent all of that into graphs and charts so I could see things like PBs or even strength gains over time. Now, I knew an app like this could never exist because it needs to work with my custom format, and that's just pretty much impossible for someone to come up with by chance. So over the last few nights, I've been building this with Claude Code in native iOS with Swift, and I come from more of a web TypeScript background, so Swift and iOS native has been completely new to me, but building with Claude Code has actually been a really pleasant experience, and finding out about all the stuff that comes as standard with iOS has been really interesting as well. For example, one of the features that I wanted was to be able to sync my notes with a server so that if I ever delete the app or replace my phone, I don't lose my data. Now, if I was to do this with a tool like React Native, I'd have to build a custom server, have use effect hooks to hydrate the data and be able to synchronize the data with the server, and all of that would be custom code. But with Swift, this was all just standard out of the box, which was pretty incredible. You just assign data to a variable and it automatically syncs to iCloud, meaning I don't need a custom server component. It just uses all of Apple's infrastructure out of the box. This could have been literally days of development with React Native, but with Swift, it was just changing a single variable and then everything just worked seamlessly. Now, the reason that I went with Swift over React Native for this build is because I wanted the Notes app to be as close to the native Apple Notes app as possible. And doing that with React Native is basically impossible to do because getting the nuance of the animations and the general sort of feel of the UI is really difficult to do with React Native. You could have got it close, but it just would have been very obvious that it wasn't a native app. So the way it works is you enter all of your information in any format that you like, and then there's a screen where you can explain how your format works. And then anytime you edit a note, we send that off to a server, an LLM parses the data and then sends back JSON that we can use to then render all of the information into any sort of chart that we like. This means there's zero learning curve for the app, and I can carry on entering all the data in the exact format that I'm used to, but I then get the benefit of all of the charts and graphs so I can see my progress over time. Now, building personal apps specifically is really interesting as well because if I was to try and productionize this, I'd need a login system and an auth system, an onboarding flow, and potentially even payments. But because this is just installed on my own phone through TestFlight, none of that is needed. So you can literally save weeks of development by just building an app specifically for you. And building this really got me thinking about the long-term vision of AI. Could you imagine in the future where AI is much faster and much more advanced to the point where you can download like a blank app and just describe in plain English how you want it to work, and it will then instantly generate your perfect app on the fly? That would completely eliminate the need for anyone to be developing custom apps because the AI could just do it in a matter of seconds. Now, I'm not sure how far away that future is, but it does seem like that's the way the world is moving. Now, that is kind of an exciting and scary thought at the same time because building apps is literally what I do to make a living. But right now, I feel like AI is a massive unlock for anyone to be building their own custom apps. So I would recommend that you give it a try yourself. Even if you don't have expertise in a different domain, I think the level at which Claude Code is at right now, it's possible for anyone now to develop simple apps even without any technical expertise. So I built this app using Claude Code with Opus 4.6. And if you want a deeper breakdown of exactly my AI workflow, then I've made a video for that here. Otherwise, I hope you found something in this video useful, and I hope I've convinced you to go and build your own personal apps now. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.